away from everyone. Barksdale down the sidelines, well covered by the veteran Dave Brown.
Over the past few weeks, people have been challenging Dave Brown, questioning him. Does he still have that speed? Dave Brown, certainly one of the most dependable cornerbacks in the NFL over the years, and I'll tell you, the Raiders can test you. They've got some speed that can go deep.
An original Seahawk, Brown was picked out of the expansion draft from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a second-year man with the Steelers at the time, had played in Super Bowl V with the victorious Chuck Noll team. Second down 10. Again, it's Barksdale in motion. The give to McCallum, and he's tripped up on a good knifing tackle. Fred Young, the third-year man out of New Mexico State, number 50 with the hit. McCallum with good numbers last week in the victory at Kansas City, the much publicized and controversial Raider win at the Raider 29, just underway on a warm day in Los Angeles. Away from pressure and hitting Hawkins, and Hawkins has a first down at the 39. Patrick Hunter, a fifth defensive back, making the tackle.
Looking at it from the end zone, you'll see the line stunning. Watch it right here as Joe Nash comes from the right side to come around. There you see Nash, number 72, coming around. The other tackle, Randy Edwards, in this case, coming in. Jacob Green right on Plunkett's back. He's still got the sense to get it off quickly to Hawkins, who gets the first down.
They mark it at the 38, enough for the first down to Hawkins. So 2 first downs after taking the opening kickoff, and Plunkett play action. Good protection. He goes for the bomb to Barksdale. Almost intercepted, and then Barksdale almost came up with the ball. Dave Brown covering. That was up for grabs.
I mentioned that they would test Brown's speed. Brown certainly matched Barksdale, who's one of the fastest men in the game. On that particular play, even conceivable to call offensive interference, Dick, because those defensive players are entitled to the position that they have on the field. And we've seen more of that call this year, I think, than ever before.
Last week at Kansas City after trailing 17-0 early. McCallum, good hole, and Napoleon McCallum has 8 or 9 yards before Kenny Easley can make the tackle. Boy, they had quite a scare, didn't they, Merlin Olsen, when Kenny Easley was helped off the field Monday night up at the Kingdome.
Easley and Taylor both.
Down in 12 at their 37-yard line. Again, Plunkett protected well, and he finds his tight end Christensen. Greg Gaines with a stopper across the 45, where it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Jim Plunkett doing a good job on there. He's really not had a lot of playing time this year. Did get in against the Giants, but was rusty for that game. Has taken all of the snaps in practice this last week. And he said, you know, the biggest part of adjusting, getting back into the game, is that you see things, but you can't take advantage of them. The trigger just won't pull. A little bit of rust, but he looks like he's throwing it well in there today.
3rd down and a long 2. It's actually closer than 3 yards. McCallum in motion. Plunkett again stepping up, and he's going to run for it. 50, and slides in at the 44. First down. So the Raiders overcome the 10-yard holding penalty. That's 3 straight first downs. They invade Seattle territory.
Well, Jimmy Plunkett, one of the oldest, in fact, the oldest active quarterback in the NFL, has never been known as a running quarterback. But I'll tell you one thing, he's a competitor. He'll do what he has to do to get that first yard, that first down.
There's his teammate Lester Hayes, not a nifty guy, he's not a mobile guy, but God has blessed him with the same type of intestinal fortitude General Patton had. That's from the judge himself, Lester Hayes.
So be it.
So be it indeed. McCallum with a helicopter twirl on that tackle, made famous by Nat Moore against the Jets a couple of times. Has the running room, but Robinson makes a fine play to cut off what might have been a very long gainer and brings him down at the 36, a yard shy of a first down. Tom Flores, 21st year as a Raiders player, assistant coach, or coach. 49 years of age, in his 8th year now as the head man. He's had an excellent record. 8-3 in the playoffs, a couple of Super Bowl championships. And many around here feel, despite the disastrous start, that the Raiders defense is good enough to get them in the playoffs again, despite starting 3 lengths back after 3 weeks. McCallum and the long-legged Ensign has a first down at the 26. Our first look at other scores, a Jet first down at the 26 and a steady drive. This the 12th play. Frank Hawkins, 20, 15, first down at the 10. Frank Hawkins, who had rushed for only 70 yards in the first 5 games, a 5.4 average, being a more frequent ball carrier on this drive. 15 yards on that carry.
Watch Jacob Green. Let's turn it loose and watch Jacob Green. He's got to come inside now to try and pinch this off. Christensen makes it look like a pass. Now you watch Hawkins cutting back inside, gets off of one of the Seahawks who's been twisted around, and just does a great job of running to get open on that play.
First down. Dropped for a loss is McCallum. Actually, they can get a first down without a touchdown. The ball is just outside the 10-yard line. So the toughest of all assignments, that final piece of real estate, they have got to get the first, to get all 10 of them. Jacob Green, who has been the sack master of the Seahawks.
Well, on that last play, we saw him taken out of the play. He came right back with the big play to make the tackle.
Green, Texas A&M. The number 1 pick, as was Jeff Bryant, who plays the end on the other side out of Clemson. Ball at the 11. Doki Williams in motion. Intercepted. Terry Taylor.
I think it's
Terry Justin. Justin's second of the season. Justin, a 5th defensive back. He's a former Seahawk who wandered away to the USFL, came back to Seattle this year, and what a big play for the Seahawks, who seem to manage that kind of action time and time again.
And down at field level, looking out from the end zone, you'll watch Plunkett looking right into the camera, and Kerry Justin backing up. You saw him on the left side. Watch him move in now. The ball off the hands of the intended receiver and right into the alert grasp of Kerry Justin. Justin also did a good job of getting upfield to get a few extra yards, and that's the first opportunity that the Seahawks had to put those extra DBs on the field.
Doki Williams was the man that had his hands on the ball for the Raiders. Seattle starts from just outside its 8-yard line. Dave Craig, the quarterback. Kurt Warner, who showed that he is 100% again in that game on Monday night as Seattle defeated the San Diego Chargers. For Seattle, Craig will work behind this line. Bush, the center, he's had a bad back. We'll watch him closely. Millard Bailey, just activated yesterday, starts at guard. Mattis and Wilson, the tackles, are much bigger line than Chuck Knox has had in the past couple of years. Tice, the tight end, with Turner, the speed on one side. Largent, the all-time pass catcher in consecutive games, 128. And Warner and rookie Williams behind Craig. Warner again outside, but not for much. It is a delightful matchup in this regard for the football aficionado. You've got Kurt Warner, a 100-yard rusher, 3 of the 5 games this year, and a man with that potential against a team that rarely gives up 100 yards rushing to an entire team. And here are those players who are tough against the run. Paquel on the nose, the all-pro Howie Long, and Sean Jones has 5 sacks. Robinson, Millen, McKenzie, and Martin are the linebackers. Hayes and Haynes, that talented cornerback tandem with Turan and McElroy at safety. 3rd and 5, shotgun Craig. Draw play to Warner, and he does not get the first down. Stacy Turan came up from his safety spot to deny Warner, and the fans give a hand to the defense. Seahawks averaging 4.7 a carry this year. That's second best in the NFL. And the Raiders allow only 3.3 yards per rush, sixth in the NFL. Or even than those numbers might indicate. Vince Gamache from Cal Fullerton, free agent with the Raiders last year, and he just does get it away. Almost blocks Stephon Adams at the 50. Make it Fulton Walker, and he's down at the 45. Fulton Walker, a 6-yard return of a 33-yard punt, and Gamache lucky that one got away.
He's also saying you got to give me a penalty on this one. Watch him as they get awfully close to this ball, just the wrong angle, and after he kicks, well, it's his own man that hit him first. I think that's what they said. It looked like Eric Lane, the man that bounced into his leg, and I think that's why they didn't give him a call.
So the Raiders, who were denied down at the 10-yard line on the pass interception, get the ball back at the Seattle 45-yard line, as Dave Craig had a chance to run only 3 plays with the Seahawks deep in their own end. And Marcus Allen is in the backfield for the Raiders. Allen and Hawkins with Barksdale in motion. The throw to Allen. 40, 35, first down, and now the crowd recognizes that was Marcus Allen, and they welcome him back. How long will he play?
Well, that's a question, and we have to ask it. You see him a little bit tender as he comes to the outside, but I don't think there's a single back in football at this time who can do as many things for you with the football, as many positive things as Marcus Allen can.
2 brilliant young runners on these 2 teams, Kurt Warner and Marcus Allen. First down at the 34. Allen's reception worth a dozen. He gets the call again. And only a couple, although he had ad-libbed his way into open field. Defense stops him. New England a touchdown down late. Finals now. Dallas a winner, so the Redskins' unbeaten start ends. Miami goes 2-4. Chicago looking for 12 in a row. Atlanta moves to the top of the NFC West. Cleveland right there challenging Cincinnati in the AFC Central. Detroit 3-3. New Orleans leads by 3 over Indianapolis. Reception by Williams, with 2 Seahawks actually screening the ball from the receiver and themselves.
Dick, what makes this reception remarkable is that Williams is being covered man-to-man. He knows that as soon as he moves his hands, the receiver will, or the defender will turn. You see, he waited until the last possible second and then just reached out and grabbed that football. Tremendous job as you see that ball right over the shoulder of Dave Brown, and had Doki moved those hands out, Brown would have knocked it away.
First down at the 10 again. And Marcus Allen. They sent Allen through the middle. Wide open touchdown, Doki Williams. Oh, there's a breakdown by Seattle. No one covered Williams.
Terry Taylor, with that injured knee, fell down on the play, Dick. And Doki Williams was his man. And here comes Doki Williams. Look at him. It's man-to-man. Now watch Taylor as he goes inside and plants. His feet came right out from underneath him. And Doki Williams is left alone in the end zone.
Williams' 3rd touchdown catch of the season. Here's Chris Barr's try for point. Mark Wilson, despite a bad thumb, is the holder. That's surprising. And Barr makes it 10 in a row in his points after this year. 1 minute and 17 seconds remain in this first quarter, and the Raiders lead by 7. Williams, the man who caught that pass on the sidelines, 22 yards to set up the touchdown, making that sharp move to get rid of Taylor, goes down, and it's nothing but Froston in the end zone for the former UCLA track star. He was not, you could not categorize Williams as a football star. He didn't play much in college. In fact, as a senior, he caught only 8 passes. 4 were for touchdowns, and was available in the 5th round to the Raiders. And of course, the Raiders love downfield speed, and they grab his kickoff. Bobby Joe Edmonds at 1 yard deep. The rookie from Arkansas. Down at the 13-yard line. So Seattle gets a taste of its own medicine. Andy Parker down the field in a hurry along with Sammy Seal. The Raiders have played every game right down to the final second, losing 3 very difficult games at the start of the season. And then some feel they were fortunate to win at Kansas City last week. Largent to the left, looking for a catch that would extend his consecutive streak. Instead, it's on the ground, and John L. Williams, the rookie fullback from Florida, battling for a yard or two before Stacy Turan and plenty of company can drag him down. Dave Craig. You see his numbers: 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. AFC East with a 5-1 record here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum at 7-0 Raiders. Seahawks ball, 2nd down and 8. Kurt Warner carrying that ball dangerously and racked up forward progress. Craig in the shotgun. Seattle does not have a first down as yet. Little toss to Warner, fighting close, and may have the first down. The little shovel pass out of the shotgun to Warner, and that may be enough for Seattle's initial first down. It is.
Craig just moving to his left forces the defensive end to respect that and then tosses it back inside. But that first down, pure and simple, extra effort, second effort by Kurt Warner.
Out of Pineville, West Virginia, population around 1,000. Went off 7 miles away to play his high school ball at Wyoming, and then, of course, to Penn State for Joe Paterno. Hudson and Tice bookend the offensive line. That's Warner, trapped, dragged down. Rod Martin, he plays that flare pass, and it's 7-all Minnesota and San Francisco. As you see, Warner out across the 25-yard line, a gain of 6. Veteran Jim Plunkett starting today with Mark Wilson injured at Kansas City. It's a thumb injury, and Wilson at practice yesterday did triple left, and then they bring Franklin in motion and then throw back to him. And Byron Franklin not able to get much out of that play to the 29-yard line. Well read by Seal, number 43. He broke in as a rookie with the Raiders as a wide receiver from Western State of Colorado. Now a defensive back.
Several players on the field that are what I would consider projects. In other words, they've taken a player that was playing one position and moved him over. Sammy Seal is one of those for the Raiders. Barksdale, another project offensively for the Raiders. And the Seahawks have a couple of their own.
Bolton Walker, the former Dolphin, back at the 31 as Gamache punting for the second time. Almost had the first one blocked. It's a beauty this time. Walker drifting back inside his 25. And returns for about 9 yards to the 33-yard line. A 40 several tight ends, Christensen and Andy Parker. Hester in motion. Napoleon McCallum breaking a tackle of Butler and breaking a couple more. Drives out to the 38, a 5-yard gain, and credit that to McCallum on great effort.
A chance to go down in the trenches. Watch Joe Nash, who slants to his right, and the center, Don Mosbar, is just going to hook him and take him outside, drive him right out of the play. Watch it right here. Just swings across, leads him that way, gets help from the guard coming down on the other side, and that opened a little bit of room over there, but McCallum was simply swarmed under by the pursuit.
Took 6 men. 6 men had contact with McCallum before he went down. 2nd and 5. Play action. Almost intercepted by Keith Butler, who timed his move in front of Todd Christensen.
Christensen, the kind of receiver that you like to go to when you're in trouble. Always looking for that opening in the defense. Often runs his own patterns rather than the disciplined pattern, but he is one of those people who has a great sense about where the openings in the defense are. Here you see a shot that probably should have been intercepted, as Keith Butler made a good reaction to the football and got over there in front of Todd and got his hands on it.
Hawkins joins McCallum in the backfield. Doty Williams and Jesse Hester wide to the left. 47.
One of the problems that Seattle's defense has had during this season so far is their inability to get pressure on the quarterback. They only have 7 sacks. There's Tom Catlin. He's concerned about that. Last year they set a Seahawk record with 61. You see him signaling in the defense here. If they continue at the same pace, they'll only have 22.5 sacks on the year, Dick. You can't win that many games when your defense is not getting pressure on the quarterback.
Well, many feel that's the name of the game defensively. The Raiders, in contrast, have 17 sacks. The Rams started this week with 20 to lead the NFL. McCallum. Again, a nice move. He was stopped at the 49, able to edge forward, gets a couple more into the Seattle territory at the 49. Napoleon McCallum, the ensign. He wakes up at 4. This is his basic routine during the week. Reports to duty out in Long Beach Harbor. He's the officer, the food services officer. 2 o'clock he's off. He races out to El Segundo where the Raiders have their practice field, works out, practices, then goes in for the meetings that he normally would take with the rest of the team in the morning. That's a solo meeting with his coach, Ray Wilsey. Returns home for dinner with his wife, Karen. Lights out at 8:30 because you got an early reveille the next day. Second down and 6. Plunkett. Wide open is Hester. Touchdown. Jim Plunkett was able to shrug off Joe Nash, who had him for a sack. And then he looked downfield and said, how do you do? 49 yards to Hester.
Working on Dave Brown, the cornerback, and I mentioned they would challenge him, test him out. Hester, a young speedster, has been bothered with some leg problems, but boy, he was back on that one. So often, when a quarterback appears to be sacked and then can get himself back up and throw the football, things stop downfield. Well, Hester didn't stop, and it paid off with a touchdown.
Now, they had only 2 pass plays over 40 yards for touchdowns last year, and they've doubled that already this year. Barr's extra point is down the middle and led by Jim Plunkett, who is 7 for 10 in this first half, and some Jerry cheering him from the Coliseum stands. Bobby Joe Edmonds, an exciting rookie, but they don't give him any room to run as Edmonds does not make it back to the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown, and Plunkett really made the play by warding off the charge of Nash.
Watch this now. As Nash will go to his outside in a stunt, they'll come in to block off for him. Bryant coming inside. And watch Nash come all the way around the stunt. Number 72 will come back into your picture and then go right over Plunkett's head. Plunkett just ducks down. Watch that. Just ducks down and pops back up. Brown, who had seen that, Dave Brown saw it downfield. He simply could not get back into the flow. He thought the sack took place.
I think he might have thought he had a chance for an interception. If we get a chance, we'll show you his role. Here's Craig. His first pass of the game, longer than a little flare, is out to Mike Tice, the tight end.
Here's the last of that play, and you saw how far Dave Brown was off of his man as Hester had gone inside. Watch Hester go to the inside right here. Little move inside, and Brown, who had started in with him, simply bit on that move and couldn't get back.
Great coverage. Director John Gonzalez, producer Larry Cirillo. Boy, you're reeling both ends of that one as Plunkett gets the couple of easy touchdowns in this first half. Craig looking at 2nd and 6. This is John L. Williams plowing across the 25, but he'll be a couple yards short of a first down. Rod Martin spearheading the defensive charge. The touchdown smile of Jesse Hester from Florida State.
Well, Dick, if you look at the statistics of these two teams, you would expect Chuck Knox's team to be controlling this game with that strong running game and a conservative passing attack. Not so. The Raiders have been hammering, controlling the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, and then able to come up with the big bombs.
3 wide receivers to the right, Turner, Largent, and Franklin. Franklin in motion. Craig, incomplete. Franklin, who started in motion as if he were going to go to the far side, then kept back to this side, and Craig comes up empty, and they'll have to punt it again. Late scores, 7-all. You saw 93, Greg Towns. Kansas City can probably expect a fine from the NFL office for doing what he did. Marcus Allen ad-libbing his way back, and that bad ankle won't help. And he's down for a loss at the 23-yard line. Loss of 7.
Let's go back quickly and look at a play that happened just a few moments ago. There is Largent coming in. Now watch what he does on this particular situation. It looks kind of like a basketball pick play, and of course that's not legal. I don't know whether
Largent in basketball either.
Well, Largent was trying to avoid his man, or was he? That pass was not caught, but that's the kind of thing that you'll see a lot of teams run. And of course, if they're caught doing that and the officials feel it is a pick, that flag comes out in a hurry.
It looked to me like he had gone out of his way to make a bump on James Davis, that he didn't try to elude him. Second and long. Hawkins, short game. And Plunkett under some pressure. Joe Nash can't get him again. And Marcus Allen can't hang on to the ball at the 32-yard line. A reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser. Ray Guy's first punt. Bobby Joe Edmonds back at the Seattle 28. Ooh. High wobbly kick. Edmonds. Nope. Yep. Fair catch at the 33-yard line. Stephon Evans was the first man down for the Raiders. A 41-yard punt. No return. Time they're in as the American League pennant winner. Seattle trying to generate some offense. Warner into a crowd of black. Long count by Craig, and he tosses to Warner. Ooh, good block by Williams on the corner, and that sends Warner out to the 44-yard line. Appears to be a first down.
Warner's first real explosion of the day. And if you talk to Seattle people and ask them about their team and how they're better this year, you saw number 32, John L. Williams, in front of Warner on that play. He's one of the reasons. The blocking of that fine fullback and also his running ability. But Kurt Warner, I think, is running better than he did as a rookie.
Even better then?
I think he's running better now. I think he's running smarter now.
Yeah, with Warner back, you can see the improvement from 23rd to 4th in the league in rushing. First down, Warner to Largent at the 35. What a play by Largent. Look at how many red black shirts there are. 1, 2, 3, 5 of them were around Largent. He caught the ball thrown behind him, and that makes 129 consecutive games for the all-time NFL record holder in that statistic.
What great battles between these two, between Lester Hayes and Steve Largent. Watch Largent at the last second turning inside. Lester Hayes, who's on him man for man all the way, has no chance. The experience of a Largent mastered against Lester Hayes, and Largent wins it on that battle.
Oh, and Hayes respects him. The most important factor, he says, is the man-to-man, is the bump in the 5-yard zone. That applies to any receiver, but especially to Largent, but it's tough to knock him off balance. Seattle's best penetration, flea flicker, but it's read well by the defense. The dump off to Gordon Hudson, the tight end, and he's down at the 29. Jerry Robinson, number 57, securing the tackle. A 1-yard gain to Hudson, the tight end from BYU, who played in the USFL here in the Coliseum for the Los Angeles Express. That was his 5th catch of the season. Hudson, number 85.
Dick, let's finish. We talked about what has made Seattle's offense more effective this year. Two other things to talk about. Hudson is one of them, and he's just coming back from some injuries that will help him to be more effective. But the increased size and a couple of new bodies in that offensive line have also helped.
Yeah, those two tackles are much bigger, aren't they? Hudson in motion. Howie Long creates the incomplete pass. He did have his arm going forward, but Long hit Craig just as he released the ball.
I think it went right into Piquel. Big Bill Piquel, number 71. Howie just sweeping in from the left-hand side. He said that left-hand position is his favorite position. Watch him from the right-hand side of your screen. Number 75 comes sweeping in right about here. Gets a hand on Craig. Now Craig throws that ball right into Big Bill Piquel's hand. Here he comes in isolation against Mike Wilson, number 75. Wilson just trying to push him behind Craig couldn't get it done.
So third down, actually a little less than 10 yards from the 30 of the Raiders. Shotgun, Craig. Open. First down to Ray Butler from Southern California. Played for the Trojans here in Los Angeles. Acquired from the Baltimore Colts, or Indianapolis Colts now. Signed by Baltimore back in '80.
So tough when they put 4 outstanding wide receivers on you. And this is one of them. Butler, who's made some big catches for the Seahawks this year, comes up with the first down. But that means that one of those fast receivers is going to be against a slower safety. It's tough to defend that.
So a big third down throw for Craig. Got 12 yards. And Seattle trailing 14-0. 4 minutes left in the half with their best chance to score. Warner trapped in the backfield, and a flag goes down, and I think we're going to have holding against Seattle.
I think.
Knocked down. Almost intercepted, then recovered.
Edmund Bailey.
Bailey, 65, took it right off Bill Packel. Packel had it going one way, and suddenly Bailey in the battle of the behemoths.
Bailey just activated, has been on injured reserve. You see a smile on his face. Again, number 71 in the middle is going to take that ball on his big hand right here. As he jumps up and bats that ball down, it comes right down into the hands of Edmund Bailey. Edmund Bailey, who Bailey just tries to play fullback. Even broke a tackle there.
Must have reminded him of his high school days back in Savannah, Georgia. From the 30. Second and 22. Draw. Warner for 5 or 6. But they need a lot more than that. Greg Townsend made the tackle.
Well, they pick up a piece of it, and they're trying to be patient. Knox is a patient coach, and he knows you're not going to get it back all in one big chunk. I think if they could get down a little further and get a field goal, they'd probably be happy in this situation.
Third down. It'll be about 16 and a half as Townsend from TCU. Again, for those of you who missed the news, Townsend on Wednesday suspended by the National Football League for 1 game for fouls committed against Kansas City last Sunday, then reinstated yesterday, but his case still in review. Craig looking, dumping off to Warner. And he's inside the 15 to the 12, but that'll leave the Seahawks about 4 yards short of a first down. Jeff Barnes finally brought him down after a 12-yard play.
Craig getting some heat. I think had his arm bumped as he wanted to pass again. I believe it was Howie. They've got a hold of Howie Long's mask. Wilson, the 2 big offensive tackles, pushing those hands up into the face. They're still able to make a good play, and the Seahawks are going to try a field goal.
30-yard attempt by Norm Johnson. Gail Gilbert to hold. Johnson able to slide that one just inside the left upright. And Seattle has its first score of the game. A minute 56 seconds left in the half. 14. The only team to play them even. Kansas City, San Diego, Denver in the minus pool against Los Angeles. Norm Johnson's high kick. Stephon Adams. 15, 20, 30, all the way to the 34 for Adams. Eric Lane, the captain of the special teams for Seattle, makes the stop. Los Angeles has 2 timeouts left in the half, and Seattle has all 3 of its timeouts.
Norm Johnson, usually a very strong kicker, but look how short this kick is as he drops it at about the 9-yard line, and there's not time for the coverage to get down there. His coverage is just barely getting to the 20. Now watch Stephon as he does a good job of breaking in. You see he's up into the coverage by now. Some good blocking by the special teamers of the Raiders. And of course that's an area in which Seattle has excelled today. So far in the game, Raider special teams have done a better job than Seattle special teams.
Jim Plunkett with a 14-3 lead. He has the short pop to Frank Hawkins, the fullback, a gain of 2. See if Seattle calls time.
Dick, the offensive styles of these two teams are different, and so are the defensive styles. Tom Catlin basically believes in the old bend but don't break kind of philosophy. They keep everything in front of them and try and make you work it down the field. The Raiders play a pressure defense.
1:18 left. Plunkett a lot of time. Cross field. Incomplete. Oh, was it complete? I believe Okie Williams. Yes, it's complete at the 48-yard line. There was Williams hiding along the sidelines. Napoleon McCallum appeared to be the target.
A most dangerous kind of pass, and it looked like it was over the head of the first receiver, but there's the man he was throwing to, and he was right nailed to the sideline. Okie Williams.
I'd like to see it draw that play.
McCallum up there trying to pull it out of the air, and again, we talked about the problem Seattle has had of getting pressure on the quarterback. Plunkett with time back there to eat a sandwich before he put that one in the air.
1 minute, 12 seconds left in the half as the Raiders try to improve on their 14-3 lead. Again, Plunkett extricates himself and then throws to an open patch. No Raider even close to that one. Stops the clock with 1:05 remaining in the half. In a few words, Greg Gaines, the debater for Seattle.
Gaines coming on the blitz on that play, and in a three-man line, you usually send one of those linebackers in a blitzing situation.
Merlin, you know, we've been kind of watching those sidelines coaches with their signals a la baseball, and you saw Plunkett there as if he were drawing in his hand a pencil and pad. I wonder if that meant you want me to run a draw play. Let's see.
Well, let's check it out.
McCallum. It doesn't work as the draw play erased by Seattle's defense led by Eugene Robinson.
You spent too much time on the baseball field, Dr. Edberg. Good call on that one. And
Los Angeles, number 2.
here is the draw as they try and hand it inside. McCallum sees there's no room there, breaks outside. Eugene Robinson, Dave Brown, both there, and it's Eugene Robinson that nails him down.
And a timeout. Third down and 8. One timeout left for the Raiders. That's Marcus Allen in motion. Flag down. Christensen can't hold on as Kerry Justin, who had an interception early in the first quarter, knocks it away. The penalty is against the Raiders, but that brings up fourth down, and undoubtedly Seattle will decline. Seattle wants the ball, and they have the punt return unit on the field right now.
Knox would like to get his hands on the football.
Illegal use of the hands, number 79. 10 yards of penalty is declined. It's fourth down.
You hear Bruce Davis saying, "What did I do? What did I do?" Well, he's still not sure, and I don't think he got an answer. The official saying, "Hey, I threw the flag. Look at it in the film." Seattle has blocked 3 punts so far on the year. All 3 have resulted in touchdowns. Let's see if they go after Ray Guy here.
Bobby Joe Edmonds are really excited about this kid from Arkansas back at the 13. 10 men on the line of scrimmage. They may go after Guy with 51 seconds left in the half. Ooh. Short. Edmonds fair catch at the 18. A flag is down.
I think we've got a man off the line too soon. Paul Scansey for the second time throwing his body in front of Ray Guy, but not close enough to really take a sniff of it. You'll see Scansey from the top of your picture. Watch him lay out as he dives into that area to try and get his hands on that football. That's what's called sacrificing your body. Rusty Tillman, special teams coach for the Seahawks.
Illegally down the field. The penalty is declined. First down.
You've got to coach those people to sell out. That's what Rusty does.
Give us back. From their 18. Warner. That's John Elston to do. I heard at Florida they said that they could throw the football 70 yards. I wonder if Knox might put that play in the book before the year's out. Well, they let the clock run away, and that is the final second, the end of the first half. The Raiders on 2 touchdown passes by Jim Plunkett. A 30-yard field goal by Norm Johnson, the only Seahawks score. And we'll return to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Stand by for NFL 86 after the catch of the day and a first down at the 22-yard line. Matt Millen made the tackle, 15 yards for Largent. Other scores at the half. Denver unbeaten going into that game with the Chargers, leading by 3. The Giants 7-3 in the second, and San Francisco. All the games close. Here are the late games today.
They're backing off into a zone, and Largent moves in. He does love to find the seams in that zone. Gets the first down.
He had a great quote about Monday night's game, record-setting game involving himself and Charlie Joyner. We'll share with you. Warner, while just digging for every inch, picks up about 5, maybe 6 yards. Here was Largent with all the pressure surrounding his consecutive game receiving streak, and at the same time Charlie Joyner passing Don Maynard, who should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's hope he gets in there soon. In total yardage receiving. And then Largent says 10 years from now I'll be glad to tell my kids I was on the same field with Charlie Joyner when he broke the record. That's something I'll always remember. That says something about the man.
He's a class guy all the way around.
Warner cut off at the pass. Stacy Turan, number 30. Third-year man from Notre Dame, playing that sweep perfectly.
Raider safeties so big in running down plays from the inside, playing as much man-to-man as they do. The corners do very little forcing from the outside. So those inside safety men have to be great tacklers. They have to be aggressive. In Turan and McElroy, they have 2 of the most aggressive safeties in football.
Craig looking at 3rd down and 6. Has 4 wide receivers in the game. Tried to dump it off to Warner underneath. He sent all the wide men deep and tried to hit Warner underneath, but he was in heavy traffic. It goes incomplete.
Blitz was on, and there just wasn't time to get that ball in the air. I think if Warner could have gotten his hands on it, they had spread everyone far enough that they might have been able to get some room. Townsend getting the pressure on the inside, and Warner just simply couldn't catch up with that football.
Now the Raiders hold the Seahawks to open the second half, and Gamache, who had 3 kicks at 40 yards, his average going into the game 39.1. Fulton Walker back at the Raiders 29.
Not a good kick.
Walker has running room. 35, 40. AFC West as they chase unbeaten Denver. Raiders ball after the punt and penalty. They start from their 33. Plunkett to Napoleon McCallum. Oh, they're opening some good holes off tackle. The whistle had blown the play dead. No fumble. Stokey Williams came up with it anyway. 8 yards, and that means 54 total for McCallum.
We've wondered why we haven't seen more of Kenny Easley today. We haven't heard many calls for him. You see him coming up to put the clincher in there, and that ball bouncing loose after the fact, a trademark of the Seattle defense. But Easley has not gotten his usual number of calls. I got to believe that knee is bothering him a bit today.
Second and short. McCallum had it stripped away. Seattle says they have the football. No signal yet.
Yeah, they do have it.
A vicious hit put on McCallum before he got to the line of scrimmage. It appeared to be Bruce Schultz, the outside linebacker from Texas, who made the hit.
Schultz has already forced a couple of fumbles so far this year. And I mentioned that this team, this Seattle defense, just has a knack of breaking the ball away from other teams. You'll see Schultz, 58, drive in there and sweep that big left hand. Just strip that ball away. Fred Young, I believe, number 50, down there scrambling, may have gotten his hands on it.
Seattle starts from the 39 of the Raiders. Warner for 3. So with the interception and the fumble recovery today, Seattle now is +9 in the turnover table.
Well, and they should actually be higher than that. Randall Morris, a couple of careless fumbles in the second half right toward the end of the game last week, or that would be even better. There you see the turnovers on the day. The Raiders have turned it over twice, but this is the first time, really, that the Seahawks have had good field position all day long to start a drive. Let's put it that way.
10.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 14-3 the Raiders. Craig has a man open. Is it good? The call is yes at the 18-yard line. Darrell Turner. They call him Deep Heat from Michigan State.
An unusual receiver in that he really is the big play receiver. And that's why you see them giving him so much room on that side. Reached down, picked up that ball with that right hand and cradled it on the ground. Jerry Robinson saying no, but I believe he did make the catch. Watch him stick that right hand out and scoop the ball up. Well, hard to see from there, but I believe he did make the catch.
I believe they've been buzzed. The instant replay official in the press box looking through the plays you've just seen and will determine whether or not they're going to overrule the call.
One more time as we watch it. Very difficult from this angle. You see the hand underneath the ball bouncing it up, but the shoulder blocking it away.
Actually, had the break for Turner was that in not catching it cleanly, the ball bounced up, which allowed him to slide his hand underneath, and it appeared that it was a good catch. Tough call.
But about 1 out of 3 of Turner's catches go for touchdowns. He's that big a player.
25 touchdowns and 76 catches going in. That's his first today. Warner. That's the favorite play of Chuck Knox. That back starting wide and cutting upfield. He used it with Joe Cribbs at Buffalo, and your old teammate Lawrence McCutcheon ran it with the Rams.
Well, something else you'll see that's a little bit new. You'll see Knox saying we don't want the penalty. I believe Jerry Robinson was offside. Anyway, the left side of the defensive line. They're going to wave it off. Knox said, wait a minute, don't even worry about it. Just say no. Largent getting a good conversation with the officials, but you'll see more aggressive blocking from Seattle's offensive line this year. They've changed their philosophy there.
Offside defense, number 57. The penalty is declined. It's second down.
Second down and about 2. Well, Ray Prohaska, who was the line coach for Knox in all those spots, Rams, Buffalo, and it's yet retired. And now we have a new man there, and he's going, what, more drive blocking?
Now, more aggressive blocking, and you'll see a lot more combination blocking by that offensive line. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have a bigger offensive line in there, too.
Warner again appears to have the first down inside the 10. When you say bigger, you're talking about Ron Mattis, number 70, who is 306 pounds, the left tackle, and Mike Wilson, the man they acquired from the Cincinnati Bengals, who's 6'5" and 280. So they've gained about 20 pounds or more at each of those tackle spots in number 70 and 75.
The philosophy of what they're doing, Dick, it used to be that they would stand up and just take the defensive player wherever he wanted to go. And, of course, that meant that the backs really had to make their cuts very quick. Now they're driving out on those defensive players, and that means that the backs are coming out. They can make a few drive steps up. Those cuts are coming much later, and I think it's really helped their running game.
First down, as you saw. At the 9-yard line, first and goal for Seattle. They trail 14-3. We're in the third quarter, 9 minutes, 20 seconds left.
Does this mean they've got the whole 9 yards to go, right?
The whole 9.
The whole 9. You'd almost like that to have been an inch short, so you could have had another shot to push it up in there a little bit.
Craig's going to throw. First and goal at the 9. Finds his wide receiver, Turner, and he's down at the 2. He's the touchdown maker. Turner, and they found out even though he catches so many balls for touchdowns, he also dropped a lot last year, and they went to the ophthalmologist, optometrist during an ophthalmologist during the offseason. They found out he had a depth perception problem. He's wearing glasses now.
Well, we talked about his touchdown proficiency. You see him here. Mike Haynes trying to follow all the way across the field. He's got some leg problems, and he just barely got a hold of the leg of Darryl Turner, or he'd had another touchdown.
Turner tried the goggles. He's wearing contact lenses now. Second and goal at the 2. Warner met midair. Oh, what a midair collision. Martin and McKenzie and Millen and McElroy just anticipating, almost like the men at the net in volleyball trying to block a spike. They said, we're guessing here, and bam.
Watch them as they hit Warner as he tries to go over the top. But look at Warner twist. Watch him twist. He didn't give up yet. He's still fighting for that yardage. He got about half of it. The ball is marked inside the 1-yard line.
Third and goal. Warner behind Williams, and he has the touchdown. Actually, it was Eric Lane in there as well to block. And the Seahawks down 14-0 have pulled to 14-9.
I think that's one of the things that Kurt Warner does best. The sensing of what's happening defensively, where that little hole is. You're watching right down on the line. You see Warner coming at us. Now watch when he plants that foot. Look at him go back inside right there. Sees the hole and reacts instantly. Great acceleration, and Warner puts it in for the TD.
Now the fumble recovery. McCallum's fumble forced by Schultz leads to the touchdown. And here's Norm Johnson trying to make it 14-10. And so it is. Johnson, who played here in college for UCLA.
Let's try and see what Kurt Warner saw that made him cut and break up inside. Well, they're busy deciding what's looking inside, and that's the block he was looking for right there. Brian Millard, 71 on Matt Millen, and he just drove up inside. He was looking for the opening. He got it, and he got the touchdown.
This amounts to about a 30-yard kick for the extra point, and Johnson hits it a second time. No flags. 7 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the Seahawks have drawn within 4 of the hometown Raiders. And do stay tuned for our house and headliner outfit tonight. That whole lineup for NBC, including the special movie. We'll tell you all about that a bit later.
Danson will be on there tonight.
Star Cheers. The cheers that belong to the Seahawks here in the third quarter. It's 14-10 as Johnson nails it deep to Adams, 2 yards into the end zone. And he gets it back to the 21-yard line. Bruce Schultz making the tackle again. It was Schultz forcing the fumble on McCallum that led to the Seattle touchdown. Big roar just went through the crowd here in the Coliseum. Actually a moan because the Red Sox have scored 4 times in the 9th inning. The California Angels 3 outs away from the World Series, leading 5-2, and the Red Sox have now taken the lead 6-5.
Plunkett more worried about keeping the Seahawks from taking the lead here. Backed up. About the worst position they've had to start a drive all day long.
From the 21, McCallum and Hawkins behind him. Plunkett to throw. And has the completion out at the 36-yard line. Doki Williams has another grab. Terry Taylor on the coverage. And Williams has had a fine game.
Williams in isolation as he comes toward you. Drives the cornerback off. They're giving him a lot of room inside. And then gets a chance to get that football. Terry Taylor, we mentioned a knee injury that is probably bothering his performance, although he did practice late in the week.
4 catches now for Williams today. The big play man, as you can see, averaging 20 yards a catch. And they were ready for Knapp, as he prefers to be called Knapp rather than Napoleon. His granddad and dad, both Napoleon. Nothing new to report in the other leg. Easily, and a good play made by Jesse Hester, who actually broke up the interception.
Well, we finally talked about Easley not getting many calls. He's playing center fielder here. Look at him drop. He's backpedaling to get deep. Watch him with his eyes on the ball. Now the 2-men change roles. Hester becomes the defensive back as Easley goes up for that ball, and Hester played a pretty good defensive back role there. Easley, you notice that limp with that leg. That's the knee injury we talked about, and he's a tough dude. There's no question about that. This is a home field for him, too. UCLA played its home games here when he was in college.
3-time consensus All-America, as was Robinson, the linebacker for the Raiders, Jerry Robinson. Plunkett going long, and caught. Hester in front of Terry Taylor. 19 yards and a Raider first down. On 3rd down, Plunkett going long to Hester.
Tom Catlin coaches his defensive backs. Don't give them the easy score. Don't give them that easy long pass. But sometimes if you get a little bit too laid back, they can hit that kind in front of you. And Terry Taylor giving the back a little bit, or the end a little bit too much room there. You see Catlin shaking his head on the sideline. John Kaiser making notes for him, the linebacker. Catlin's troops have not played as well in this game as they have during the early part of this year.
14-10. The Raiders lead. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The quick out is incomplete to Hester.
One thing that continues to haunt the Seattle defense, they have not sacked Plunkett one time yet today. They've had a couple of chances. In fact, they've had their hands on him 3 different times, and all 3 times he's been able to shake it loose and complete a pass.
And the Raider quarterbacks have been sacked 22 times in the first 5 games.
Plunkett having a little problem getting that play out there. Took quite a bit of time with it. He's ready to be pressed to get this one off in 30 seconds.
14 seconds on the 30-second clock. McCallum hit in the backfield, and suddenly that off-tackle play is not opening up for the Raiders. Seattle's made some good adjustments at halftime.
Seattle is a good second-half team, and that usually does mean that your coaching staff is able to adjust in the second half. It also means that the team is in condition. That's something that Chuck Knox believes in. Look at the points scored in the second half by the Seahawks. You can see what I'm talking about there.
3rd and 11. Time. There's the first sack of the entire game as Jacob Green has his 3rd of the season. The career leader in sacks for the Seahawks. He had 13.5 last year and 64.5 going into this season.
Green, who's playing lighter this year, almost 15 pounds lighter than his 260 of last year, will be coming in from the left-hand side, the right-hand side of your screen there. Just kind of scooped in underneath on the stunt there and got his good strong hands on Jim Plunkett and said, not this time, Jimmy.
So it's 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third quarter. They'll kick it to Bobby Joe Edmonds back at the 10. Ray Guy just gets it away. Edmonds with a little running room. 11. And swarmed at the 17-yard line.
That ball
was first downfield.
That ball just barely missing the hands of number 41, Eugene Robinson.
And a timeout. 3 minutes, 59 seconds.
Rough stuff.
Seahawks trailing 14-10, begin from their 17. They begin with Warner darting and dodging, ad-libbing to the 21, 22-yard line. What a tough 5 for Warner as they work on Terry Taylor's shoulder.
Not bad enough to have a knee problem. You got to bang up your shoulder too. And he's been very effective for them this year.
2nd down and 5.
2nd down and 5 for Dave Craig. The man from Milton, NFL's Rodney Dangerfield, Dave Craig, looks at the Raider defense. What a catch by Williams. John L. Williams finally out of bounds at the 29 after snaring one like an outfielder.
Dick, if you're going to make a play like that work, you've got to have somebody out in front to throw the block. A 300-plus pound tackle. Ron Madison, watch him move as he drives out in front, waits until the ball is caught, and then uses his hands on number 56, Jeff Barnes, to make room for John L. on that play. Makes the first down. I got a nice story on that. We'll save it for after the play.
Meantime, Williams did his part by picking that one off with his fingernails, one-handed with the left hand.
He's
First down.
Fine receiver.
Eric Lane replacing Williams on this play, and this is Eric Lane. Not much there. Only the 2nd time he's carried the ball all season. From BYU, the special teams captain of the Seahawks for the 4th consecutive year. How about Mattis?
Well, he grew up in Ringtown, Pennsylvania. He said he's always been a Raider fan. He said they were my team. He said, in fact, I used to watch him. And he said when Blanda kicked one of those field goals to bring him back, he said, I was in the kitchen and I jumped up, punched my hand right through the ceiling in the kitchen. He said, you can still see where it is. And my mother takes me in there and shows it to me when I go home.
The George Blanda hole, huh?
He said he had to change his allegiance when he got drafted by the Seahawks last year.
Went to the University of Virginia. Timeout called by the Raiders.
We just talked about Mattis. Mattis coming in behind that play, and Jones talking to him about the way he's blocking.
Allen on Cheers. So big lineup on NBC this evening.
Oh, look out.
And there is a big crash applied by Howie Long on Dave Craig, the first Raider sack of the day, and Long got through cleanly.
Howie plays all those positions. He's come from the left-hand side of the nose man there as he breaks away, gets away from Blair Bush, and just buries Craig on that play. He was handled one-on-one. You see him here, just a little slap inside. Whoops, that's Millard, actually, that he's getting away from. Number 71, the guard, Millard, who let him go to the outside, and then he just whacked Craig to the ground.
Lyndon King, number 52, was there to follow up. Third down, about 15. Craig throws it away. So the Raider defense stops Craig, and they're sparked by the superb play of Howie Long. Long, who is a reporter for HBO on their pro football coverage, and he's quite a talented commentator and writer, as we have learned.
He's the kind of guy that earns the respect of the coaches on the other sideline because he doesn't quit. He keeps coming, doesn't matter how many people you put in front of him, and he eventually gets there unless you block it.
10 men on the line of scrimmage. Gamache, good kick. Walker, no fair catch, and he's tripped up at the 30. Look at that, Plunkett. What a job he's done. Christensen with a catch, and a gain of about 9 at the 44-yard line. Kenny Easley with a tackle, but again, Plunkett at 38 years of age, not fast, not quick, but he knows how to get away from the rush.
Well, we've got some senior citizens here today. You've seen Dave Brown, Ray Guy, the oldest punter, Brown, the oldest cornerback, Henry Lawrence, right tackle out there for the Raiders offense, the oldest offensive tackle. And I'll tell you, Jimmy doesn't look that old today. He's moving pretty good.
Second and 1, the down with which to play, but instead they give to Allen, who does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Joe Nash able to weigh him down, a yard or two lost.
Dick, I'll tell you the thing that hurts a guy like Marcus Allen. He has been so durable. He has always been able to avoid the injuries, and he just gets in there now in a situation where he tries to do what he's always been able to do in the past, and that leg wouldn't let him do it. That was not a Marcus Allen kind of run.
Like driving the Indy when you have one tire that has about 10 pounds too little air
And is bumping all the way.
29 seconds left in the third period. Third down and 3, and knocked away. A fine play intended for Christensen. Easley was there, but I believe Patrick Hunter had reached in to deflect.
Hunter had gone into the locker rooms earlier. Hunter and Justin both there. Easley, I think, covering man-to-man. Maybe we can see it here. 23, Patrick Hunter. 26, Kerry Justin. There's the man who bumped it, and I believe it is Patrick Hunter, 23. But Easley was not far behind. Christensen looking away and saying, hey, got too many bodies on me on that one.
And the Seahawks defense much more effective here in the second half. Guy has to punt again. Edmonds back at his 13.
They're coming, I believe, again, Dick.
10 men up front.
Nope, this is a return.
Good high floating kick. Edmonds to the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds at about the 21. Well, we understand that the Angels in the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing 6-5, have tied the game 6-all. Will it be the Angels or Boston for the Americans, or the Mets and the Astros for the National League pennant? It'll all start next Saturday night at 8 o'clock here on NBC. Boy, this is the greatest time of the year for the fans. We've got the 14-10 the Raiders. The Raiders scored on 2 touchdown passes. Plunkett first to Williams, and then to Jesse Hester. Then a field goal before the half by Norm Johnson of Seattle. And after a fumble recovery, Seattle marched in, and Warner scored. from short range, a yard out. 14-10. By Warner out of the backfield, and no, incomplete, they say. Never really had control of it. Reggie McKenzie on the coverage. Mike Haynes came up with a pumpkin.
Warner made a great move catching this on the back of McKenzie, but then as he tries to settle in there, McKenzie whacked his elbow and knocked that ball loose. Smart play by the linebacker. Almost a great play by Kurt Warner.
1 second left in the quarter. Look at kicker Chris Barr. It's lonely even when it's not lonely for the field goal specialist.
You see the McDonald's commercial where that he runs off the field? I want to tell you about that. That's a fun story.
3rd and 10 from the Seahawks 22. The yard line now as Gamache looks at a 10-man rush, 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Good high kick. Walker, fair catch at the 44. So the penalty is worth about 10 yards to the Raiders as they start on the Seattle half of the field after a 36-yard punt. And the eyes of some 60,000-70,000 in the Coliseum focused on Fulton Walker, and he's riveted on that football. And he figures that one's short enough. Fair catch is the intelligent play, and so it is. 44-yard line. And Plunkett going long for Mueller. Oh, Vance Mueller, the rookie from Occidental College, the Oxy Tigers nearby.
They put him outside where they knew he would be covered by Kenny Easley. Strong safety. Watch this young man who has very, very fine speed. He gets away from Easley and dives. That ball just thrown barely beyond him. And I'll tell you, that's a timing thing. I don't think Plunkett has had to throw many passes to Mueller. He doesn't get a chance to practice that much with Jimmy.
Marcus Allen weaving his way to the 29 and a first down. 14 yards for Allen.
Well, even with a bum ankle, that man can still run the football. Cutting back against the grain. Mickey Marvin, 65, driving the nose man Nash right out of the play. And he's into the secondary. I think I could have run through that hole. I don't think it would have gotten quite as many yards as Marcus did. Good blocking up front by the Raiders.
He was in the minus pool, -4 until that carry, and doesn't get much on this one. Fred Young with a tackle. And he comes up holding that right ankle, does Allen.
And that is the last thing that you would have wanted to see. There's Christensen trying to do a little chicken fighting on the inside, and there's Marcus being tackled. You see him instantly go back to that ankle. Fred Young had tackled him right on the back of the legs, and Marcus reaching for that bad ankle. I mentioned
for 53 yards to lead all rushers, including Kurt Warner, is in the game. And this is McCallum protecting the ball as he drives inside the 25-yard line. Actually, Warner with 59 yards now is slightly ahead. Chicago remains unbeaten. Enters over Minnesota. 3rd down and a long 5 for Plunkett. And it breaks down. He had a lot of time, but not that much. And Randy Edwards, number 68 from Alabama, able to charge through and has the second Seattle sack.
Edwards coming in on Charlie Hanna, and Plunkett just made a bad choice, I think. Hanna would have driven him by. Watch it right at the end. You'll see them coming in, and Charlie Hanna, number 73, is going to pick up Edwards and drive him to the outside, and Jimmy stepped back instead of stepping up. I think had he stepped up, he might have been able to avoid that rush. That's the second sack of the year for Randy Edwards, who had 10.5 last year, just coming in pass rushing situations.
And a big sack because it took the Raiders out of field goal range with that loss of about 10 yards. So Ray Guy to punt once again. His 5th of the day. Aims it for the end zone and clearly in. And Guy not at all happy. 10. Dave Craig starts from his 20. Kurt Warner fumbles, and the Raiders have recovered at the 30-yard line. Jerry Robinson. Bill Packel appeared to force the fumble.
That's one thing that Kurt Warner has done very little of during the year.
Was he down?
That's the question that's being asked. I know that was the complaint being raised. Let's take a peek at it and see.
Did the ground force the fumble?
Warner coming into the right side of your picture.
Can't tell from that angle.
Let's try another angle. Packel stripping at it.
Instant replay judge has looked at the same replays that you have just seen as well as the initial play, and they have overruled.
Let's see.
After a careful review by the replay official, the man was down before he fumbled the ball. Going that way.
Well, another chance to see it. Still in possession. Boy, that's a tough one. What is convincing evidence? Irrefutable evidence. I'm not sure I know anymore.
Well,
inconclusive.
Better eyes than mine, Dick.
So Seattle on a close call. Still in possession. They're unhappy at the Coliseum. A 6-yard gain to Warner instead of a fumble to the Raiders. Look at that, Warner. What a move. And he has a first down, but a flag is down at the 32-yard line. But what a dance by Warner to get himself free outside. It'll be called back.
There's a holding call against the Raiders, or against the Seahawks. Raider defense responding with some
Holding.
anger.
Offense, number 81. 10 yards. Repeat, second down.
Look at that move. That's what you talked about. That great lateral acceleration by Kurt Warner. And there's the flag being thrown back. Gerald Turner, number 81, on Reggie McKenzie, number 54, trying to keep him away.
You felt the same way. That's more tired than you, or you felt you played better? Why?
Well, I think what happens is if you train yourself properly, your instincts and your training are better than the conscious thoughts that you have. And the more tired you get, the more pure those reactions and instincts are allowed to control. Hard to hear. Well, I don't think they're reviewing that one. That's not in the realm of what they do. But Dick, just to elaborate on that, I think what Warner really was saying is that he just needs to take what's there. And he really was on a roll last week against San Diego. He was hot. Now, I've always felt that he was a better back on the artificial surface than he is on grass. But looking at statistics, that's not really true. He's had 12 100-yard games, and 5 of those 12 are on natural surfaces.
And he plays less on natural.
Much less.
And the big fullback has a first down out to the 33-yard line. Matt Millen with a tackle. Williams, who blocked for Neil Anderson at the University of Florida, both #1 picks. Boy, Florida has really produced a lot of #1 running backs. Lorenzo Hampton, James up at the Lions. Let's go back to the fumble that was ruled no fumble.
You see Warner in the middle of your picture heading for the ground, and the ball coming loose.
Now, we can't see his knees from that angle. Now, maybe his knee was down. His shoulder certainly wasn't when the ball popped free. Warner, a tough couple of yards into Sean Jones, number 99.
And this is Chuck Knox football. Ground Chuck. Slam him into the line.
Denver now. Boy, that San Diego Charger team, has anyone been more miserable in the second half than the Chargers? They can't buy a point in the second half. And the Giants apparently cruising against the Eagles, and the 49ers in a tough one at home. Chuck Knox sees his team break huddle 2nd and 8 at their own 35. 9.5 minutes left in the game. Seattle trailing 14-10 to the Raiders. Craig, a lot of time. He better hurry now, and they get him from behind. Rod Martin. He eluded Martin initially, but no one could break free, and that's a credit to the deep defense of the Raiders. They had him blanketed.
Dave Craig just could not find anywhere to unload that football, and I think he's lucky he didn't fumble it. Martin will get him from behind. There's Martin, right side of your picture, 53. Watch him getting around. John L. Williams drove him off initially, but Craig trying to get away there from the nose tackle, Piquel, and there's Martin. You see him reaching for that arm, trying to get at that football. Almost got his hands on it.
As a sack, the third of the game, and flags are down. And a few holes and other things. So 3rd and long for Craig out of the shotgun. Goes long to Turner, almost intercepted by Mike Ames. He's playing on a bum ankle. In fact, he told me yesterday, he said it'll take a miracle for me to be in there tomorrow. Well, game day is a great healer.
If we could just bottle the adrenaline that pumps for these athletes when it's just before the kickoff of a big game, I'll tell you, it would be a wonderful material to have. I'll take some. I'll guarantee it.
You know, we talk about reading the quarterback's eyes, and the cornerback, I asked Haynes yesterday, who was undoubtedly one of the finest ever to play that position, who was the best at looking you off that you couldn't read? He said, oh, no contest. Bob Greasy. He said, that devil, I never could figure out what he was doing. I'd even try to lure him into throwing in my direction, play off a man, hoping he'd get that way.
Offense, number 75. The penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
Well, did you see those glasses that Greasy wore? Greasy didn't know what he was looking at either.
That's true. That's true. Better watch it. I bet Bob's watching this game in an airport someplace after doing the New England Jets game. As the Jets go 5-1 with Pat Ryan at quarterback today. Fulton Walker at the other end. Gamache hits a good one. That one turns over for him and chases Walker back. And it kicks out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
Ball, Dick. I know that the Seahawks would like to have him in the books a little bit more. Doesn't spend quite as much time looking at film as Tom Catlin would like him to. But what great instincts for the ball.
Pro Bowler the last 2 years as the special teams player in the AFC. Plunkett, lots of time, and he finds McCallum, and the 22-year-old Naval Academy star, the youngest Raider player, has a reception in front of Keith Butler.
When you see a quarterback have that much time to throw, you know his offensive line is doing a good job for him. We're going to see part of it right here. Henry Lawrence, you see Lawrence looking there as Jacob Green had driven inside. They were running a stunt. Inside, Charlie Hanna doing his job, Mickey Marvin his, Don Mospar, Henry Lawrence.
Just enough for the first down.
Yeah, they just barely squeezed it out, but that's it. You got another first down. And the clock is running, too. Very important here.
Now under 7 minutes, McCallum. Nice hole opened up on that left side. Davis and Marsh. 7 more yards.
Dick, let's go back inside and see what's happening in the pits with the big man. You'll see them trying to run up in behind Mospar, who does a good job of driving Joe Nash out. They were able to control Bryant on the other side, and Napoleon McCallum well into the linebacking area before anybody got a hand on it. And when you can do that, you're going to pick up 3, 4, 5 yards.
And let's keep an eye on 27, Frank Hawkins as well. He threw a key block on the hole. Back to pass protect this time, and it's Todd Christensen with a first down grab out at the 43-yard line. Eugene Robinson with a tackle. Another 4 downs for the Raiders, and the clock is now at 6 minutes left.
The play selection here designed to control the football and eat the clock at the same time. Watch Christensen catch this ball in traffic, under pressure. Robinson grabbing at his arms. A second hit from Fred Young. He doesn't give it up. He keeps the hold of that football. 1st and 10.
Keith Butler, along with Greg Gaines, to make the tackle. Butler, an outside linebacker his first 5 years, has found a happy home inside, and watch the pressure he puts on.
Well, that hole opened up briefly, but Napoleon McCallum delayed, got there about the time the doors were closing, and Butler did the job of shutting the door on it.
Put the wrap on Knapp at the 45. 2nd down and 8. Plunkett over the middle. Doki Williams, and no flag. Kenny Easley timed his hit just right, although some would disagree here at the Coliseum.
Wonder what's happening away from the football. Let's watch Todd Christensen trying to get downfield. Kenny Easley, the man who's putting a little bit of a bump on it. That's Greg Gaines, who stopped him. Looks like a pinball machine going one way, and wham, they turned him around.
Now that's allowed in the 5-yard area. You can be hit all kinds of times.
Every man allowed one hit on the receiver. No more than one, though, Dick. That was the second man that got a pinch at him.
3rd and long for Plunkett.
Look out.
He's in the running room. He's got the 1st down. He knew exactly where it was. 10 yards for Plunkett, down to the 45-yard line of the Seahawks, and the clock now is down to 4.5 minutes.
Well, Tom Flores may set up Plunkett's slippers himself after this game. He's earned it. Those old legs doing a great job as Plunkett finds the yardage, picks up the 1st down on his own.
McCallum doing a good job of blocking downfield. He tied up a defender. Actually, it's close enough that, no, they aren't going to measure. 1st down outside the 45, and Eugene Robinson walks off under his own power.
Paul Moyer in his place.
So leading 14-10. This has been a very important, time-consuming drive by the Raiders.
The Raiders controlled the football in the first half. They did not control it in the 3rd quarter, but here in the late stages of the game, they have been able to do what they wanted to do, take the football and move it down the field.
McCallum to the 40-yard line, a gain of 5. And he seems to get 5 every time they call his number. You heard somebody on the sidelines for the Raiders say 2 more 1st downs here, and that would indeed take it right down to the 2-minute warning.
Sound like Mike Ornstein. One of the Raiders, obviously. They're thinking, if we can get two more 1st downs, we can eat what's left on that clock.
McCallum wearing number 34. His jersey number at Navy retired. He wore 30 with the Navy, but Stacy Turan already owns that one with the Raiders, not available. 2nd and 5, and it's 34 dumped after a 1-yard gain.
Fred Young, number 50, knifing in very quickly. Some help from Jeff Bryant, number 77. Gaines there. Kenny Easley there. It's their job defensively, and they've got to get it done quickly here. Stop the Raiders. Get that football back for the offense. Time ticking away.
Indeed, it's already 20 seconds on the 30-second clock as Plunkett, who knows how to use all 30 seconds, and that's part of the advantage of that veteran quarterback in this situation. Less than 3 minutes left. 14-10 Raiders.
He'll let it wind almost all the way down before he takes the snap.
3-2, takes it at 2 seconds. And throws complete, 1st down at the 29-yard line. 10 more yards as he finds Christensen. Kenny Easley made the hit.
And here's Todd Christensen. Plunkett again running to find room as Christensen gets away from Easley and gets enough to pick up that 1st down. But how many times has Jim Plunkett been able to avoid the rush by moving around in there today?
And with 2:30 left, Chuck Knox is not going to use one of his timeouts. So the Raiders, of course, will let it go all the way to the 2-minute mark.
Gatlin saying, come on, let's call one. But Knox has made his decision. He still thinks they can get them stopped, save the first downs for the time after the 2-minute warning.
So there's 30 seconds that the Raiders were able to run off the clock. 2 minutes left in Los Angeles. Really done a job, and the offense good enough so far. Frank Hawkins for about 5. And there is the first timeout with 1:53 left. And he stopped after a couple of yards, and Seattle stops the clock with 1 left at the Coliseum. Third down and about 4. Hawkins trying to fight for the first down, does not quite make it. He needed to get inside the 20 and stopped right at the 20, and the third timeout spent by Seattle with 1:39 left. And Chris Barr, we expect, will come on to hold. Remember, bad thumb. No trouble with that, but he missed it to the left. So Barr, who was perfect this year, so he won't be a Bo Derek. He was going to need a touchdown to win it. They trail 14-10.
4 wide receivers in the game for Seattle.
Out of the shotgun, Craig. Over the middle to Largent. Steve Largent with his 3rd catch of the day, his 647th lifetime. He's only 2 behind Charlie Taylor, number 2 all-time, and of course Charlie Joyner, number 1, way ahead of the pack. First down play over the middle, complete again, and good yardage for Warner all the way out to the 48-yard line.
No huddle again. They'll come right up and run it again.
1:07, 1:06 left. Stacy Turan with a tackle.
Craig had 2 plays called. Audible this one.
With 58 seconds left. He throws to Largent. Largent trying to get out of bounds, and cleverly does. The catch was not as important on that short play as getting to the sideline.
Largent made 2 quick choices. Should I go to the sideline or go upfield? He was able to go upfield and still get out of bounds.
Craig overshooting Byron Franklin, who was open on the sideline.
Franklin had come in motion to the inside, reversed his field, and went back out. And I mentioned before, these are 4 wide receivers with excellent speed. And then they also are able to, by using more motion, keeping people moving in there, mix things up so they can get a mismatch in there.
Chuck Harris giving the signals. Gail Gilbert from California, second-year quarterback, also signal maker. And Craig looks at 2nd and 10. Make that 3rd down and 4. Remember, Largent 6 yards on the first down, so it's 3rd and 4 at the Raider 46 with 46 seconds left. Blitz is on, and that could be the play of the game. A fumble. And Greg Townsend may have recovered for the Raiders. He was the man who made the hit. Nope, Seattle maintains possession. You see Townsend in the picture.
But the clock is ticking. Sean Jones slamming that ball down. The Raiders say they got it.
With a sack, the clock stopped, and now they'll wind it up again. So Seattle in a huddle late. Now the clock starts again. 4th down.
Townsend stripping Craig. That ball bounced free. Sean Jones had it in his hands.
Seattle
4th and 14.
A bit disorganized getting out of that huddle. A lot of seconds ticking away. Their last gasp, perhaps. 4th, and a long throw downfield. Up for grabs. And that'll do it. The Raiders apparently have prevailed.